Hello, good evening. We are back. It's the ILFL Soccer Night Show, back with you again on a Monday night after all of your Ramadan and Eid celebrations. We are back to talk about football, and we haven't forgotten what has been going on and what has been a fantastic summer league. We've got teams coming from all over London to compete for what has effectively been a four-horse race. Not been able to say that for a long time. As you can see, I'm surrounded by beautiful people in the studio tonight to talk about all the football that happened yesterday, the football that's to come this week, not forgetting your vets. Unfortunately, our vet statsman Nana will not be here, but we are all capable of dealing with what we've got. We've got no footy highlights for you, but we've got plenty of football to talk about. And here with me in the studio, to my right, you all know Jim. Jim sits on a committee, but is also involved with the Lotus FC team, who are taking the Premier Division by storm this summer. And we also have another one of his midfield maestros, who we're going to talk to in a little while, and on my left, equally handsome, but not a player at all. I have a referee in. I'm sure you all would like to have lots of questions for him, but it's not a phone-in show. Let's start with the football that did happen yesterday and take a look at the Premier Division results from Sunday, the 19th of July. Here they are on your screen. And here they are, two big games they were. Lotus FC continued to be dominant and a force to be reckoned with, beating SCTA by 2-1. And the two Tigers came together and went toe-to-toe, great battle, and it's the Robin Hood Tigers who ended up winning it by 1-0. So what does that do to the Premier Division table? It now looks like this. Tigers are top with 15 points, played 6 games. They only have one more game left, but they are the team to catch. Lotus FC are behind them by 3 points. They have 2 games left, and it's a must-win game for 2 of them. We spoke about this a few weeks ago with our man Jim here in the studio with me. So, Jim, I'm going to put it to you again. Remember the last time we spoke, and you spoke about the fact that London Tigers were the team. They're going to come back, they were going to hit hard, and they were going to win all their games. They've come back after the break, and they've fallen short again. So, is the spotlight on you now?
That's a good question. I think Tigers, I was doing a little bit of Alex Ferguson there when I said about London Tigers going to come through and win it. We never give up, as Jack said on the day. I think it's a difficult one because Robin Hood Tigers have got the extra points in the bag, and that puts the big pressure on us this Sunday.
Absolutely. Just
as it did this Sunday, we had to win. We have to win in the coming Sunday. I'm not sure whether there's more pressure on us or London Tigers. Robin Hood Tigers. I expect, with respect to Beaumont, and I mean this with respect, I expect Robin Hood Tigers to win their remaining game. So I think that puts the pressure on us, and we need to win our 2 remaining games, and then hopefully it will go on to goal difference. But I'm confident we can do it.
I mentioned the fact that you had another midfield maestro. This time it's Jack. Welcome to the studios. John. What did I say, Jack?
It was Jack.
It was Jack last time. See, he made such an impression. Sorry about that, John.
That's all right.
Welcome to the studio.
Thanks.
Your impression now, I'm going to ask you the same questions I asked Jack the last time round. How have you found the league and the competition that you've been up against in this league?
It's been different, I think, but it's in a good way. It's different. I think every team we've played against have all been comfortable on the ball, and I think I think this sort of league and these sort of teams, they'll never just lump it and they never sort of get rid. But you can play in other different leagues, say like over Hackney Marshes, and everyone's just physical, but there's not too many ball playing teams. But I think majority of the teams, all the games we played, everyone's been comfortable on the ball.
And so how has that affected your game personally? Not the team, but you personally. Have you had to adapt the way, or is it?
Yeah, but you have to adapt as a team because, for example, we're as a team we used to sit quite deep, but then where the opposition now playing out from the back, we're having to full press ourselves up because they're simply the opposition refusing to play a long ball, so we don't need to be sat deep. So it's a little bit of teething problems, I thought, especially at the start. I mean, in our first game, although we won, I think about 4 or 5-0.
4-1, yeah.
It did take like a good 15-20 minutes to get everyone up, for everyone to understand on the team. No, we've got to press them right up the pitch because they would play it back. And then, in fairness, everyone's comfortable on the ball. Like, I do think it is good that when you're a footballer, you do want your defence and that to be comfortable on the ball. So, in that respect, they're good.
4 wins out of 5. maybe you did or didn't expect that. Nobody really knows what to expect when you come into a division and a championship like this. But like we said, there's 2 games to go now. Pressure?
Yeah, but I think it was all, got to expect it, because so few games where you only play each other once, you've got to try and take maximum points all the time. So it was always going to be the case. You could win like we've done, we've only lost 1 and we've won another 4, but with a few other good teams, the pressure will always be on. You just got to take 1 game at a time, try and win them all.
Let's have a look at next week's Premier Division games, the games that are coming up this Sunday on the 26th of July. Here they are on your screen for you now. And as we can see, again, we were speaking earlier, Jim, before we started, that every game it's like a 1-game shootout.
Absolutely.
So you lose and you're out of contention. Tigers SCTA now. Is there any hope for those 2 teams now as they meet each other this Sunday?
Me personally, I personally thought Tigers, SCTA and probably Reach Out would have been the top 3 sides. Yeah. And again, I don't mean that disrespectful to my team.
I think we probably all thought that, yeah.
Because we were new, we didn't know what to expect, we didn't know what the level was, so we had no idea where we was going to finish, but I fancied them top 3. Robin Hood Tigers, I didn't know too much about them, and I'd seen them play, but I didn't expect them to be in the top 2, especially the way they've gone. So I'm kind of surprised with London Tigers, SCTA as well. That will be a good game, but I personally see that as a 3rd place playoff. Yeah. And they probably won't like to hear that, but yeah, I see that as a 3rd place playoff. I don't see either of them catching us or Robin Hood Tigers personally. So
let's talk about the other game that's happening this weekend. That's Reach Out v Weavers. Now I know Weavers were a team, they made Robin Hood Tigers look a little bit silly one week. Their players came in here and said, didn't give them enough respect, and they took a beating. Is that the same way now, having looked at games like that? And I mean, I know you're a team that doesn't take anybody for granted, but you've kind of got that with St Catherine's this week now. Don't want that to be a potential banana skin, do you?
No, it's something that John will tell you, he's played for me long enough. It's something, one of the first things I always point out in the changing room when I go through my team talk, that you have to respect every team, not just in this league, any team you play. And when we've played London Cups over the years, you have to respect your opponents, because part of the problem is people look at league tables, and some of my players look at the league. And when they see a team lower down, they come out of some of them, not all, but some of them come out with a slightly different mentality. They're expecting to win because the team's lower. But what they don't understand is some of these teams lower down, the managers will just say to them, go out and enjoy, express yourself. You have nothing to lose. You're expected to lose against the top clubs. So sometimes you don't get the same game like we did the weekend against SCTA, where you've got 2 teams at the top, both teams know they have to win, great intensity, it was a massive battle right to the end. When you're playing a team further down the league, they tend to raise their game, and sometimes a little bit of disrespect comes in, and I think that's what caught Robin Hood out against Weavers, and to a lesser degree I think that's what caught us out against Robin Hood Tigers. I think because they'd played in the bottom division, I think some of my players kind of thought, well, this will be a bit easier than it was, and you paid a price. I think the key thing for us is we had to do what Robin Hood Tigers done when we lost to them. We had to come back in a big game and bounce back and win it, and we've done it.
It's been a great summer league so far, as you can tell. It wasn't the only fixture that took place yesterday. There was a 3rd game that took place in the 1st division, and that was between Ace and Jack Barry. You know what, next week I can tell you all about Jack Barry because we found him. But anyway, Ace beat Jack Barry by 3-0, and you can take a look at the 1st division table now on your screen, what that does. Ace are doing well, looking strong. They've gone 4 games unbeaten, smashing 18 goals and only conceding 4. London Gaza, the team that started all the early running, are sitting 2 points behind them in 2nd place. And then it's kind of the best of the rest. Jack Perry played 6 games but only have 7 points. Arsenal have played 5 and only have 6 points. So it's the top 2 who are going toe-to-toe, head-to-head to see who wins that division there. Those games to come in the 1st division this Sunday are as follows. Arsenal play Riverside, Boundary take on Jack Barry, Inter-Asia play London Gaza, and Redcoat take on Ace. And to be quite honest, I can only see 3 points apiece for the top 2 teams in the 1st division. Now, Before we go to our first break of the evening, I'm going to introduce you to the guy on my left. This is Vincent. Good evening, Vincent.
Good evening,
Vincent
sir.
Caron is a referee in the ILFL League. He's been with us for a full season now, both in the Winter League and through the Summer League. And Vincent, I think this is something that I can ask you quite clearly, because I know now you're getting ready for the Winter League. Now there is no more participation for you in the Summer League.
No, not anymore.
So I think it's fair to ask you now, you have refereed a few of the teams in the Premier Division. You've refereed Gymside Lotus,
Yeah.
you've seen some of the other teams, SCTA, Reach Out, London Tigers. In your opinion, who have been the teams to watch out for in that division? Who play the good football? From a French perspective.
From a French perspective, ACE,
Yeah?
yeah, it's a very good team. London Tigers, too arrogant.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh, you said
But-
that there on live TV. Well done.
ACE is a very good team, yeah.
They are, and
So-
probably should have been a team that might have made the Premier Division, but they stuck
Yeah.
to the First Division. And what do you think of the team here, Lotus, who are chasing Robin Hood Tigers at the top?
They can do it. I think they can do it, and yeah, if they push, they will do it. Sure.
Good teams?
Yeah,
Are
good
you
team, yeah.
impressed with the standard of football that you see being played in the parks and in on the Sundays over here, compared to what you're used to on a Sunday in France?
It's totally different. In France, there is no park. We don't play in a park in France. We don't play in pitches. It's always stadium. Not big stadium like Arsenal,
Yeah.
but it's always stadium, always with spectator. So there is no park, no pitches. Referee have to turn up 1 hour, 1 hour and a half before the game, always. It's totally different. Yeah, and we have to fill up a sheet. Yeah, it's totally different.
So how have you seen the football over here? When you come over here now, you see what it's like everywhere. Everyone's playing football. Everywhere,
Yes.
anywhere they can play, there is a football
When I
league.
started refereeing here in England, I was shocked. Wow, that football in England. But then I started refereeing, and I have seen a better football than France, but the infrastructure, the equipments are bad than in France. In France it's better. In England it's worse.
That's because we will just play anywhere
Yes,
in this
but
country.
yes, I know.
That's what it's like. You will hear
But
the
the-
phrase
the-
jumpers
the-
for goalposts
I
at
know,
some
but
point.
the quality
okay?
of the match, it's better in England than France. Much better here. Here in England, players are fighting for the ball. They want to win at all the time.
Do you think that's what makes our Premier League arguably the best league in
Yes,
the
of
world?
course, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That mentality.
Even the referee in Premier League, the referee doesn't blow the whistle for pushing
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
no.
More physical.
Yeah, more physical in England. In France, they blow the whistle for anything, for just a pushing. They blow the whistle. Foul.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
So I had to adapt myself to the
So
English
what was the
football.
English
Of course, it was totally different.
We're going to talk more about it in the remaining segments of the show. We're also going to speak to the guys from Lotus as well a little bit more. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the Vets League and what's still to come for the remainder of the Summer League. And let's not forget our presentation ceremony that's coming up in September. We're going to give you more details on that and a little bit more in the next part of the ILFL Soccer Night show. But for now, we've got to take a break. We'll see you on the other side.
আপনারা দেখছেন ILFL Soccer Night.